What's up everyone, my name is Art with No Code Devs, and today I am super excited to be welcoming you to the No Code Devs The.com mini bootcamp. Over the next 5 days, we are going to be building a website from scratch using The.com's low code and no code builder. We're going to dive into some basic principles of CSS, how to style a page, connect a form, and much more. Each video is about 10 minutes, so it's easy to digest and easy to get through, and by the end, you'll have your own working published project on the internet. We'll show you everything you need to know, including this video where we'll go through some basics of the The.com builder itself. If you have any questions at all, you are in the Slack group at The.com, so I'd be happy to help them, or someone from the The.com team can help you as well. So let's go ahead and get started and introduce you to The.com. Let's go ahead and get started. We've landed on The.com, and I'm really excited today in the video to show you all around the platform and how you can do different things like transfer a site to someone else, work with collaborators, find the gallery, and really everything you need to be successful to start building and collaborating on the platform. I'll show you where some of the help docs are, I'll show you where the site settings are, and I'll give you a high overview of the tool itself. This is a great framework for anybody who's curious about The.com and how to build websites successfully in their platform. So I went ahead and log in. If you don't have an account, just go ahead and create one. Right away when you log in, you are brought to a dashboard of all your projects. Now I have many different projects in here, which gives you a really nice sense of what this might look like if you were an agency or working on many different sites. You'd be able to see them all here in one quick view, which is really great because it makes it easy to get a sense of what you're working on and see what's going on within your dashboard. You'll see here these avatars, they show you essentially who's working on the site. On this site, you'll see there's actually a collaborator here. So I've invited a collaborator to the site, which is really exciting. I will show you how to do it. Some of the settings here, you can actually go ahead and edit the site. We won't do so much of that today because this is more about where everything is within The.com, but you can go ahead and edit your site right from this dashboard. You'll see when you hover over this, you actually get a really nice sort of history of all the activity on the site, which is really useful and is a great reminder of where you were last on the site. But if we go ahead and click the up arrow here, we can navigate to the settings. Just to give you an overview of what's in this, you can connect to your custom domain, you can set up your Google Analytics and your tag managers here, and most exciting for me at least is you can add collaborators to your site and transfer your site even to another person. So as long as they have a The.com account, you can just put in their email, you could transfer the site to somebody else. Great in a scenario, again, if you're an agency, you build a site for a client, they're happy with the work. At that point, you might just transfer the site to their account so they can become the owner of that site. You can also, it looks like, invite up to 5 collaborators on your site. And then if you need any more than that, it's $5 a seat for additional collaborators. You can control all the permissions here. You can remove them one by one. You can even remove them all from the site. So pretty cool. You have a lot of control. There's collaboration in The.com, which is really exciting. I think a feature that a lot of people are going to be excited about when you get in here. So let's go ahead and close out of that. There's some quick settings there that you're able to customize. Down here at the bottom, we have this navigation bar, which has our information, has our avatar, shows how many cells we've been working on. It also shows you if you're following other creators. So The.com is super collaborative. It's very Web3 in nature. You can build blocks on The.com, which are basically reusable components, and then remix them from the gallery, so you can follow different creators, which is really neat. So it's just showing me here some of the creators that I follow. I'm following Jane, for instance. Again, it tells me what she's working on, her handle. I can also unfollow her if I wanted to. This blocks section is where we'll go next. So if we hop into the blocks, this is a feed essentially of components that you're actually able to remix and use in your own project. So what we have here is a bunch of different creators from the public as well as The.com making different elements, everything from navigations to galleries to headers to footers to heroes to forms, anything you can really ever think of, you could bring into your site here. So let's just say we wanted to bring in a navigation into our site. There's a few different navigations here. It shows you who created the navigation. It shows you how many times it's been remixed, and then you would actually be able to add it to your site. I have done some videos on how to actually bring these into your site, but it's really just like a one-click workflow. You click add to site, you choose the site that you want to publish it to, and then it brings it in as an element, and then you can actually customize it completely and make it your own once it's in your site. So that's pretty cool. You could also click one of these avatars and then see everything that this creator or this person, this happens to be Jeff with D.com, but you can see everything that they're working on, which is really cool. So you can see all their projects, you can see who they're collaborating with, you can follow them, you can see their activity up here, and so much more. So this is, again, just so collaborative in nature. It's really inspiring to see what other people are working on. It's great for idea generation and just to show you what is possible with the platform. So we'll go ahead and navigate back to blocks. There's all kinds of stuff in here, and as people create new blocks, they will come into this sort of feed or gallery of blocks. You can even search here by some sort of custom term. You can also filter and sort as well, like most remix or A to Z. So as this gets bigger, this will be really helpful. A couple other things here down along the bottom, we have this how-to. This actually just takes you right out to their YouTube channel. So that's great. And then they have this chat feature, which actually brings you in to the D.com Slack. I'm in there. There's a ton of great resources, information, and it's really a thriving community of people. So I would encourage you to get into the Slack channel, ask questions as they come up, and just use it as a resource. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you are some of the tools that are available to you within the actual site builder. Now, like I said, we've done some tutorials on how to actually build things, but this is just going to show you where everything is within the builder. So we can go to any one of these projects, but we'll choose this one and go ahead and click Edit Site. As this spins up, you're going to be brought into the project, and you have this cell layout down here that has all the different components of the site. So to give you a walkthrough of each, we have our pages, which are essentially just all the pages of our site. We only have one here, so we're just showing the home page, but if we wanted to add an additional page, we could just add it by hitting the plus button. We could call it Contact Us, and as you can see, we now have our home page and our Contact Us page. These blocks here, we've talked about a little bit, but blocks are essentially groups of elements and styles all brought into one block so that you can easily reuse those or remix those blocks. We have 2 blocks in our project here. If we go to our home page, we can actually see them. It's the navigation block and also the gallery block. So we have a couple blocks on our site, but you can add as many blocks as you want. They'll just simply span across to the right here. The Sheets component here is essentially our database. So this is what D.com calls their database. They are sheets. They're really intuitive. We have a database here of images and URLs. You can add as many columns as you like. It's super easy to drag and resort and reorder things. If you right click, you can insert columns, you can delete columns. Same thing as on the rows. So you can insert rows, delete rows, add rows. You can also drag and drop to reorder things here in your database. Down here, when you're in your database, you're in your sheet. Rather, you also have access to Zapier, which is really great. We covered this in more depth. You're able to work with Zapier to bring data into your D.com database. So there's some pre-made zaps. You can also create a new zap. So this is your database. It's super easy to use. It's clean and it's super fast. So really a fan of this here. If we pull this back up, this shop tab is coming soon, so we're not going to cover that, but this is our media. This is where we can upload images, files, everything that we want to our site. If we just wanted to add something, we could click open, and that media will then be added to our site. We can copy the asset URL or access it in any of our pages. Super cool, super great way to organize this. There's a lot that you can do. You can, click on this image and actually see it in the builder. Everything's, as you'll see and as you start to use this, super fast and responsive. Fonts, so you can upload custom fonts to your project. You can see the asset URLs, but again, it's just a drag and drop workflow right into the project here. And there's also add-ons, so you can do design add-ons. You can bring in Bootstrap into your project, things like that. We won't go into too much depth here, but there is this add-ons as well. Along the bottom, whenever you're working, you have access to your profile, and then these tabs along the bottom are like your open sort of tabs. So you can quickly navigate back to your homepage in this instance, which is where we were just working, back to the data set, or back to the worksheet itself. So it makes it really easy to bounce around and work quickly without being interrupted. You can save your project here. This hamburger menu gives you some options. You can clear your cache. If you're maybe having some sort of cache issues, you'd be able to do that. You can set up redirects in your font sheets. This is save all. Anytime you make any changes, you can quickly save from here. This block element here will take you back out to the gallery of blocks, so you can quickly go find a new component for your site and remix it right into it. This button here is the YouTube channel again. I just had to confirm what that was. And then this is the Slack. It's really nice because I think they're really intentional about making the learning resources available to you quickly and easily. So you can easily get to the YouTube channel or the Slack channel right from here. Now, finally, along the bottom here, we have this deploy all button. And if you click the up arrow, there's some other options like refresh, and then of course deploy all or visit site. So all of these functionalities are down here in this menu bar, and it's persistent. Wherever you're navigating as you build, this menu bar stays along the bottom. So if I hop into the blocks, I'm still able to access this menu bar, which is really nice because I find myself when I'm building in the.com constantly needing to jump between my database or the homepage or maybe one of my blocks. So it makes it really nice for me to hop around. So now that we're in a block element, there's some things here that are pretty neat. You have your media queries, so you can adjust your screen size and see what your site will look like on different screen sizes. Some UX options, there's different states here that you can adjust, like hovered or a focus state. There's also different language options, which is really cool. This is the inspector tool, so you have an inspector tool available to you here. You can also set variables, which I'm not going to go into depth in this walkthrough, but I just want to show you where everything is. So you can set your variables here as well. Now, as you'll notice when we're editing and working on everything here, when you go into any one of the blocks or any of the elements on your page, you have access to all of these different style attributes, which you can quickly change different styles, whether it's flexbox or the font color or anything like that, from the padding to font size. So every CSS element is available through this cell system, which is really cool. And one thing that I want to point out is that if you hit Command K, it actually brings up a command palette where you can search. So if you knew you wanted to change the text color, for instance, you could just search for text color, and you'll actually be brought to the text color element for whatever the text color attribute for whatever element you're on. Makes it super fast to navigate around. Again, that's just Command K to access the command palette. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you here is if we hit our avatar here in the bottom left, it'll take us back home to our sort of dashboard. Up here next to sign out is the help docs. If you navigate here, there is just a ton of information. It's organized really well, how to do everything from getting started to get into more granular things like the SEO and the FAQs. So even integrations, there's a ton of information, so I'd encourage you to check that out. I hope this gives you a really good overview of where all the features are on the.com. Tomorrow you'll be receiving another email, which is day 1 of the actual building process. Paul is going to be your instructor, and he's going to walk you through from the very beginning to the very end, building everything that you need need to Indeed.com. Again, if you get stuck, there is support for you. You should be in the Indeed.com Slack channel, the No Code Dev Slack channel, where you can ask us questions. If we can't answer them, someone from the Indeed.com team will certainly help you out. If you need any special customizations or anything like that, we can try to help you along the way and get you where you need to be. This is a super fun little boot camp. We're going to cover a lot of stuff, and hopefully by the end, you'll have a really cool product to show off to the world. So thanks again for being here, and look for that email tomorrow.